growth, rather than a longing of the heart to be touched by a piece of God. So then, through the teachings, you actually come to feel healthier inside the self. Do you understand?
Yes.
Yeah. And these teachers are available, and these teachers generally are not perfect, and it might be 6 of them. You might have 6 of them over the next 12 years, or we want to say over the next about 12 years, where you might even study with 2 or 3 of them at the same time, and take what you're learning from each one and blend them together into your own idea of what is your practices, what's healthy for the self. For instance, you could go to some sort of a women's study group and an Al-Anon meeting, and like a therapist, or work with us. And we think it'd be best for you if you sort of steered away from East Indian or yogic practices. Like, for instance, another blend might be to actually study Zen Buddhism at one of the Zen Buddhist temples in Chicago, and at the same time study some sort of physical training like kickboxing or Pilates or something, or some sort of African dance class. So you can see, you could do like Zen, you could do like have a Zen teacher, and you have a Zumba class that you go to, and then you would do reading about, and then we would suggest like maybe reading Al-Anon literature, or reading the Bible, reading all of the holy sacred text you could get. And you see, then this takes care of the discipline of meditation and the movement of the physical, and an increase in one's psychological self-healing wisdom. So that's what we're sort of seeing this cat trying to tell you, is stop focusing on any one class of idea of religion that's going to lead you to enlightenment, because all of the mystery classes failed humanity, every one of them. But there were these humble little teachers, and again, Buddha was a humble little man, and he just happened to get some followers, and other people followed, and he was not liked by the gurus of India, because they thought he stole teachers from him. He didn't say. He was not Buddha was not a vegetarian. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, Buddha ate meat all of his life. So Buddha was not a vegetarian. You see, it's like Buddha was like Jesus. Buddha broke all of the rules, but over there they actually couldn't kill him, because the authorities didn't find out until he had already gotten too much attention, and he had too many friends in too many towns and villages. And where if Jesus would have lived another 4 or 5 years and traveled around, the Jewish hierarchy wouldn't have been able to kill him openly like that. Because, you see, it's again, every school, every religion goes through times of reformers. And the time of the possible hope for the world, of the coming of the new age, as you might call it, is a reawakening in the individual heart of the conscious, and the determination to elect officials who reflect the same values, to learn to see through outer appearances, and to practice what's necessary from each school, but do not have any teacher that can have any control over whether you are going to heaven or hell, or, if you attend any class or any place that you can't stand up and argue with the teacher and turn around and walk out of there and everyone accept the holiness of your choice, then you're flirting on the edge of a cult. And the truth is that you are very, very loving, very, very wise, but you give up your own knowledge too quick, correct? That's why you run the risk of being attracted into one of these larger movements. And we're You're the only person that we've ever warned you of what's going to occur. And the reason we're doing this with you is because you are far too loving and far too nice with too little knowledge of this, and you are prime to get hooked into one of these larger sorts of movements and forget that your destiny was just to become a nice, humble little person that has tons of knowledge about 5 or 6 major types of spiritual paths. And so we're going to name your 5 paths, and then we're going to stop, okay?
Okay.
Dance. You need to learn the mystery of awakening to spirit-guided dancing.
Okay.
For you need to carry the body into your heart and back and forth. And this could be African style of dance. It's really got to do with enough of the right kind of movement, then you will awaken. So your 5 paths are dance. Now, you've never thought of this one before, but there actually is a secret path to understanding relationship through healthy sexual interactions. It's much bigger than just the ideas of Tantra. And this is a path that's not been available for you to study yet because you haven't found or been in the right kind of relationship. But if you were in an actual relationship of equality, there is a golden heart of yourself that would become awakened. Don't try to create it, but it can happen yet, okay? The third of your paths is through sacred prayer that leads into meditation. Now we're going to repeat that. Is that for you to attempt to enter the silence before you have connected with prayer, your own soul, through your heart, to God, leads you to look more outside of yourself.
Do you understand?
Now, see, we're not naming with these 5 different practices, we're not saying Zen or Sufi or this. We're saying these are the core practices that every mystery school has understood and built on top of, okay? And the best understanding for yourself is pray yourself into your meditative life, okay?
Okay.
Because if you pray for other people before you begin meditating, you will release yourself into accepting the purity of the heart that you might feel in your own body, okay? Because you're built to almost sacrifice for other people before you'll release yourself into healthy habits, okay? The fourth, and you've never thought of this one either, is the fourth of the sacred pathways for you is that of, we're going to say, the secret, it's the secret artist. Now, what we mean is a person that understands how to take larger social problems or their own difficulties, and they create like a little trinket or a little altar or a little landscape that offers a soothing personal solution to the individual or the larger problem, okay? And this is why you've always enjoyed like landscapes or temples or little altars and things. But it becomes like a way, again, that the body, the mind, and the soul gets involved in little healing things. And you could actually do these like in your front yard, and every week or every month, you put together a different little display. And pretty soon people in the neighborhood or people who would drive by would start going, I wonder what she's up to next. Why does she do this? And they'll actually start receiving messages from your heart to themselves. And this is one of your sacred roles and your sacred paths. And it's like the creation of an outer art project that involves using your muscles and feeling and crying and gluing and scissoring and pasting and inventing. It's creating peace. And you do this and begin with this, and again, we could instruct you a little bit with this, but if you just start doing this, you would find that you would be able to begin resolving much of your own self-criticism or various problems through this. And again, we remind you that every major religion, every minor religion, even most of the mystery schools had artists that attempted to explain in word picture form what was the intent of the practices. Do you understand? It's the role of the artist that is the artist that's attempting to create a sacred object. Okay? Now, the fifth is, we want to say, now we're going to name 2 or 3 different forms of mystery school, okay? Is that we want to recommend that you would begin considering what personal teacher could you find. Because even if you choose the wrong one, what we're saying is walking a very self-guided, very courageous, presenting yourself to certain individual teachers that would instruct you and then let you go, or tell you to leave, or kick you out, or you would know when your time with them is over. We call this the path of mentors, or the path of teachers. Do you understand?
Okay.
Because you're greatly influenced by other people's ideas, and it's important that you become exposed to individual people that you respect, and study with them a bit. And they're available that don't cost very much, and study with them a bit, and understand why they think the way they do. Why are they teaching what they're teaching? What do they think? What was their life like? Why do they practice what they practice? And then get away from them a bit and think, what am I trying to learn from this person? And then pick and choose and apply what's best for yourself. Do you understand?
Yes.
So these are the 5 spiritual pathways that you need to learn to balance, communicate, allow yourself to guide yourself to receive some instructions. And this will be this would also be the solution to you being caught into some sort of a major worldwide cult where the teacher is so far distant that the only thing you know is what he or she allows the press to write about them. And they're protected after layer after layer after layer of devotees that wouldn't dare tell the truth about what that teacher's really like. Yeah, and so stop the internet sorts of things and find some teacher you can rub shoulders up against, if you understand that English phrase. You know, where you can actually study them and see what it is they have to offer to you, and it's where it's more direct one-on-one, or in small groups or something like that, where you actually get someone that can because they've interrupted their own unconscious patterns, they can help you with that. And so this is why your friend had a little bit of a lingering death, so that once again you could look and go, oh my Lord, look at this, how I'm feeling guilty when I did everything I possibly could for that cat. Look how my mind has been trained to search around for tiny little things that I might have done wrong and criticize myself and then get all hurt, instead of going out and kneeling at the grave of my cat and saying, thank you, my friend, for journeying with me so long, and crying a bit and releasing your grief. Do you understand? Yeah. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you so much information, Melvin. Thank you. Thank you.